Aesculapius. Now show, ye muses, ever-present powers of poets, for you know, and time's vast span does not mislead you, whence the island lapped by Tiber's deeps received Coronis' son to reinforce the deities of Rome. In Latium a ghastly pestilence once poisoned all the air, and pale and foul the bodies lay, blood drained by the disease. Exhausted by the scenes of death, they saw nothing could be achieved by doctor's skill, nothing by human toil, and turned to heaven. They went to Delphi, center of the world, Apollo's oracle, and prayed the god to succor their distress, to vouchsafe health and end their mighty city's tragedy. The holy place, the laurel and the quiver worn by the deity, all shook and trembled, and from the inmost shrine the tripod spoke, filling their hearts with fear. What here you seek, you should have sought, good Romans, nearer home. Seek nearer home next time. You do not need Phoebus to staunch your woes, but Phoebus' son. Summon my son. Good omens go with you. So when the Senate in its wisdom heard the oracle's instructions, they inquired what city was the seat of Phoebus' son, and sent envoys by ship to seek the port of Epidaurus. Making landfall there, they entered the grave council of the Greeks, and made petition to be given the god, whose present power would end the deaths that doomed Rome's people. So the oracle declared. Opinions were divided. Some believed help must not be refused. Many advised their treasure should be kept, not sent abroad, their deity not given to others' care. While they sat undecided, twilight drove the last late light away. Across the globe darkness had drawn its shadowy canopy, when in a dream the god of health and hope appeared beside the Rome envoy's bed. Standing as in his temple, his right hand seeming to stroke his flowing beard, his left grasping a rustic staff, and in calm tones these words he uttered. Fear not, I shall come and leave my images. Only be sure to note this snake that twines about my staff, and mark it well to fix it in your mind. To this snake I shall change, but I shall be larger, a size to which celestial form should fitly change. And straightway voice and God vanished, and sleep with voice and God, and day followed the flight of sleep with loving light. The morrow's dawn had put the stars to flight. Uncertain what to do, the elders met at the god's sumptuous temple, and with prayers begged him to show by heavenly signs the place where he wished to abide. Almost before they'd ceased, the golden god, in serpent form, high-crested, uttered a forewarning hiss, and at his coming statue, altars, doors, the marble floor, the golden gables swayed. And towering in the temple's midst he stood breast high, and gazed about with flashing eyes. Fear struck the whole assembly, but the priest, his holy locks white braided, recognized the deity. The god, behold the god, he cried. All ye here present, O most beautiful, be thine epiphany our benison, and bless all those who worship at thy shrine. All present in obedience venerate the deity, repeating the priest's words. The Romans too with heart and voice revere. The god inclined his head and swayed his crest, assurance of his favor. Hiss on hiss he gave with flickering tongue, then glided down the gleaming steps, and turned his head to gaze back at the ancient altars as he went. Into the temple where he used to dwell, familiar home, signaled a last farewell, and then across the flower-strewn pavement wound his giant coils, and through the city's streets made for the harbor with its curving mole. And there he halted and dismissed, it seemed, with calm, kind eyes, his train of worshippers, his loyal retinue, and took his place on board the Roman ship. It felt the weight of Godhead. Burdened by the deity, the hull rode low. Joy filled the Romans' hearts. They sacrificed a bull upon the beach, and garlanding their ship they put to sea. A light breeze drove the vessel. Towering high, his huge height heavy on the curving poop, the god gazed down across the azure main. With moderate winds he crossed the Ionian Sea, and as the sixth dawn rose, reached Italy. Then past Licinium he sailed, the cape ennobled by the goddess's shrine, and past the shores of Selacium, leaving next Iapygia. His rowers on the left steered from Amphrysia's rocks, and on the right Cosynthus' crags. Thence past Romethium and Caulon and Naricia, till through Pelorus' strait and the Sicilian sea he won his way, and made for the domain of King Hippotades. The copper mines of Temesa, and then Leucosia, and balmy Paestum where the roses bloom. Next skirting Capri and Minerva's cape, Sorrentum's hillsides with their noble vines, the city of Hercules, and Stabae, and pleasure's paradise, Parthenope. He came to Cumae and the Sibyl's shrine, thence unto the hot springs, the mastic trees, Liternum grows so well, Volturnus' stream sweeping along vast loads of silty sand, warm Sinuessa where the white doves flock, Minturni with its heavy air, the tomb of Caeta, Antiphatis' domain, Trachis among salt marshes in the isle where Circe lived, and Antium's firm strand. There they made landfall, for the sea was rough, and lowered sail, and then the deity unwound his coils, and gliding curve on curve, in vast volutions reached his father's shrine, the temple set beside the tawny strand. The sea at peace again, the god from Greece, leaving his father's altars, where his guest, his kin, had made him welcome, crossed the beach, his rasping scales carved furrows in the sand, and climbing up the rudder laid his head on the high poop at ease, until he reached Castrum and Lavinium's holy sanctuary, and entered Tiber's mouth. From every side the thronging people pour their multitudes to meet him, men and women, even the nuns who guard the flame of Vesta brought from Troy, and all salute the god with shouts of joy. And as the ship passed rapidly upstream, from altars spaced in line on either side, the scent of crackling incense filled the air, and victims warmed the knife of sacrifice. Now it had reached the world's great capital, Rome, and the serpent raised his length to lean against the masthead, looking all around to find a fit and worthy residence. The river here divides and forms two streams. The place is called the Island, flowing round on either side and stretching equal arms to hold in their embrace the land between. Here from the Roman ship the serpent son of Phoebus disembarked, and took again his heavenly form, the god who gives relief and health, and ended so the city's grief.